As summer winds down, the United States is seeing the largest COVID surge in the last 2 years. This is a vital reminder that COVID-19 hasn't gone anywhere and continues to impact people of all ages, especially those over 65 and living with chronic conditions. Here was some important information about this surge and what we can do to protect ourselves and our loved ones is former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams. Dr. Adams, it's so great to chat with you. First, let's talk about this updated COVID surge and talk about why it's so important to receive this updated vaccine.
Well, as you mentioned, it's the biggest surge in the last 2 years. We still unfortunately have hundreds of people dying from the virus every single week. And COVID-19 remains the leading cause of respiratory illness-related hospitalization, regardless of age or health condition. Final important point, we got millions of Americans who are suffering from long COVID now. And we know that the more frequently you're infected and the more severe your infection, the more likely you are to develop long COVID. We also have new variants, and data from last year showed that people who got an updated vaccine had a 60% lower chance of being hospitalized, even if they had previously received that initial vaccination in 2020 and 2021. So incredibly important to get that updated COVID-19 vaccine this year so you can maximize protection for yourself.
Why are certain age groups more at risk from the virus than others?
Well, we've seen that people over the age of 65, our seniors, have an exponentially higher chance of hospitalization and death if they get COVID-19. So if you have a loved one who fits into that age category, please make sure they are signed up for their COVID-19 vaccine update. Additionally, we know people who have chronic conditions. And I'm talking about diabetes. I'm talking about high blood pressure. Myself, I have asthma, which increases my risk of getting hospitalized 6 times. People who fit into those categories in particular need to pay attention. But I don't want folks to think it's just for folks who are at high risk. My kids, teenagers, all are signed up to get their COVID-19 update because they don't want to miss homecoming. They don't want to miss sporting events. They don't want to have to miss school because of a COVID-19 diagnosis or particularly long COVID symptoms that linger. So I think really everyone should be thinking about getting these updated vaccines, but particularly if you're older or if you have a chronic condition, you should be talking to your doctor, your health provider, and getting the information you need to make a decision that's best for your health.
Now, doctor, some people might say that I have already gotten COVID-19 over the spring or summer months. Is it necessary to still get this updated vaccine?
Well, the answer to that is yes. And it's a question I'm getting very frequently. The CDC recommends waiting 90 days after you've had a COVID-19 diagnosis to get your updated vaccine. But the data shows that even if you have had a recent infection, you still can get infected again, you still can be hospitalized, you still can get long COVID, and that you still get protection from that update. So if you had an infection this summer, my recommendation is to wait until around Halloween, Thanksgiving time, and get your updated vaccine to maximize your protection over the holidays.
Lastly, Dr. Adams, can you tell us some resources that people can look into if they still want more information?
Yes, go to vaccines.gov for general information. You can go to disease.education/finder to find out where you can get a Moderna vaccine. And most importantly, and I hope people listen to me here, don't go to social media for information about vaccines. Go to your doctor, your pharmacist, your nurse practitioner, the people you would trust for any other health problem to get the facts about the vaccines and make a decision that is best for you.
Former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams, thank you so much for joining me. We'll have all this information on our website, WISTV.com. Stay with us. We have more midday after the break.